T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to The Twisted 10, bringing you original and unique host-created top 10 lists, recorded live in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida, with hosts Tach Van Sickle and Adam Poston.
And welcome to The Twisted 10. I'm one of your hosts. I'm actually your host this week. My name is Adam, and some of the guests around the room.
My name is Tach.
I'm Andrea Joy.
And I am Jay Alvarez.
Sweet. Welcome back. Jay, I liked your episode last week, by the way. That was really cool.
Oh, thanks.
Good inaugural show, and it's already doing really well.
Ah, yeah, thanks. That was that list sucked. I'm happy I don't have to do one again for a few weeks.
Yeah, doing lists is always rather difficult.
I'm enjoying the artwork that you're doing, Adam, as well.
Oh, on the shows? Cool.
Yeah, on the
Thanks.
show's artwork where you add in our little pictures or whatever in there.
Thanks, man. That's fun. I enjoy doing that kind of tinkering shit on tablets and stuff like that. But that's fun.
Yeah.
So for listeners who might be listening for the first time, the Twisted 10 is a unique top 10 list, like our beautiful intro said. Right, Andrea?
Right.
Each week a host, this week it's me, comes up with his own or her own unique top 10 list and then shares it with the other hosts that are joining them on the show that week.
That's right, Adam. And one thing that we don't know is we don't know what's the topic.
That's right. So given what's been recently happening here in Brevard County more specifically, but Florida, what do you think I might have picked this week?
Storms.
Hurricanes.
Top 10 natural disasters brought on by Donald Trump.
I like it. I like it. No, it's hurricanes. It's hurricanes. So
Oh, yeah, we did have one of those, didn't we?
what? Hurricane? Yeah, a little one named Michael coming through.
Yeah, I'm sure the people in Haiti wouldn't take so kindly to
Sorry.
your belittling of Hurricane Matthew.
I know.
Sorry, visit unicef.org to donate to Haiti.
Yes, no, please give what you can when you can.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No, and I hate you on Facebook for saying things like that, but that's okay. No, I did. So this week I'm going to do it's a pretty straightforward one. It's top 10 hurricane facts, but these are not typical facts that you would know. You might, but it's unlikely. So let's first clarify what the categories of storms are, so people out there might not know, that might not have hurricanes, can understand what they are. These are sustained winds in a hurricane as the hurricane is building in strength or about to hit your coast. So category 1 is between 74 and 95 miles an hour. So the lowest level of hurricane goes up to 95 miles an hour of sustained winds. That's constantly blowing. Category 2, 96 to 110. Category 3, this is considered the first major of the categories, 111 to 129 miles an hour sustained wind. Category 4 is 136 to 156. And category 5 is 157 or higher. So sustained winds of 157 miles. Essentially, if a Cat 5's coming your way, your whole city is going to be leveled. There's no question.
Now, this is the Sanford Simpson scale, right?
What? No. I don't think so. It might be. I don't know the name of the scale.
Yeah, that's the Sanford Simpson because NOAA, the National Oceanic, I can't remember that now.
National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association.
They actually don't use that scale anymore.
Really?
I found that out this year.
It seemed a little high, I thought, but
No, they just started labeling them tropical storm. Anything that would be considered a category 1 or 2 is just a hurricane. And anything that would be considered 3 or above is just a major hurricane.
Wow, really?
They figure once it's blowing your tits off, it doesn't matter. It's just blowing your tits off.
That's a good point. Oh, that's interesting. All right, for the categories of these, though, I'm going to use that 1 through 5 with those mile an hour.
That's how you start the list off, folks.
Yeah.
Just contribute your own little fun fact.
All right, so I like to call 10, 9, and 8 on this list my deadly 3. So we're going to start off with the deadliest disaster. That's what number 10 is.
Number 10.
The deadliest weather disaster in U.S. history was an unnamed hurricane that struck Galveston, Texas on September 8th of 1900. It struck as a powerful Category 4 storm, which sustained winds of more than 130 miles an hour. It killed an estimated, this is U.S. again, it killed an estimated of 8,000 people back in 1900.
That's another fun fact, too. They didn't start naming storms until halfway through the 1900s,
Yep.
actually. Before then, it would just be the Galveston storm of 1900.
Yep, that's right. Or the fall hurricane of whatever. Yeah. Yep.
Well, any hurricane that's going to hit part of the U.S., like whether it's Texas or Louisiana or any of those that are bordering the Gulf, is going to be bad. Because the Gulf is a huge, warm body of water.
Oh, yeah.
And it just builds in the Gulf. That's why Hurricane Katrina was so devastating.
I love that you brought up hurricane facts around a bunch of native Floridians.
Yeah.
This wouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
People are like, God, they know a lot about hurricanes.
Especially with everything that just came on. It's like you just sit there and read.
Yeah, there's things you know growing up in Florida, folks. You know about hurricanes, you know about alligators. Just like if you grew up in New York, you know not to make eye contact with a crazy person on the subway.
The L train.
These are just things we know.
Or J train, whichever one it was.
Both. Both are just as bad.
All right, so the second one on my deadly 3 list is number 9.
Number 9.
I list this one as deadly storms. This one is just kind of a play on the first one, but the first more recorded storm. They were recording details back in 1900, but not quite like they do and understand hurricanes now. The deadliest storm that hit since that estimated 8,000 people was Hurricane Katrina. And Hurricane Katrina hit in 2005. It was the deadliest hurricane to strike since Texas. You know, when Katrina hit, do you know what category it actually was?
No.
It was a 2.
It was only a 3. When it made landfall, it was only a 3, but it pushed all that water over those levees and broke those things wide open.
That's what you do when you build a city below sea level.
Below sea level, yep.
It's not smart.
That's why those levees exist. All right, so wrapping up the deadly 3 is number 8.
Number 8.
This is on an international scale because it's not just hurricanes. Hurricanes are also known as cyclones in other parts of the world.
Right.
The deadliest hurricane on record outside of the U.S. is in 1970 at Bola. It's called the Bola Cyclone in Bangladesh, India. That's why I named this one Indian Cyclone. Just take a guess on how many people this one killed. Knowing the deadliest in the U.S. was 8,000, then Katrina later. I don't actually write down the numbers of the deaths in Katrina, but it was like 1,000 or 1,300 or something like that. But for the one in India, in Bangladesh, 1970.
We have to consider in India, you've got the people live 1,000 people per square inch.
Yeah, it's like 1 billion people in India alone.
102,753 and a half.
That's oddly specific.
And a half pregnant?
One of the twins died. In utero. I want to say
17,000, Bob.
You say 8,000 was the one in Galveston?
Yeah, that was the one in Galveston in 1900.
And this is India 1970s?
Yep, 1970.
1970 Bangladesh. I want to go with about 6,000.
Andrea was actually pretty close here. 150,000 people died from the 1970 hurricane. Yes. You got to understand it's
That's
way more.
practically a genocide.
In Bangladesh there, it's way, yeah, tell me
That's
about it.
Hitler numbers, yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. Well, they've got 1 billion people.
That's true. Yeah, I did forget to factor that in. Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Let me look real quick just to make sure.
Oh, he's going to fact check.
I'm going to look
during
like
the
a
show.
complete idiot if I typoed that number.
150, I mean.
Meanwhile, another fun fact about living in Florida.
I cut
Running in zigzags from an alligator? Total lie. It'll just run straight and catch you.
Aww. So then what do you do?
Run faster.
Oh my,
Alligators can only sprint for short bursts. They can't keep that pace.
Okay.
oh my
just
God, I
keep
was
going.
wrong.
Well, that's like me, too. I'm the same
What was
way.
it?
Adam, that's not the first time you've been wrong.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Andrea.
I was wrong. So November 3rd, 1970. Kind of an odd time for a cyclone, but maybe it's that part of the world that's when I don't know.
Yeah, it's a late storm.
Fatalities? Fatalities were listed between 300 and 500,000.
Holy shit.
Deadliest recorded tropical cyclone ever.
Jesus.
What the?
So I was even closer.
God, this is more interesting than I thought about this storm.
Stop reading.
The storm surge, God damn it. The storm surge devastated many of the offshore islands, wiping out villages and destroying crops throughout the region. It most severely affected Upazila, Tasmadulan. Okay, go with that. Over 45% of the population of 167,000 on that one island was killed by the storm surge that came in with it. Holy shit. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
And that's a late season storm, you said, right?
Yeah, November. Of course, that's India, so, I mean...
Well, the one in Galveston was in November, too, wasn't it?
I don't have that date unless I had that date.
Yeah, we said I think it was the November storm of Galveston.
September 8th.
September.
No, that's September.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, goddamn, that Indian cyclone kind of takes the cake there for the most deaths. Goodness.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Number 7.
Number 7.
I call this one buddying up.
Buddying up.
Tach, have you ever heard somebody say there's 2 hurricanes and they're just going to join to form into one giant hurricane?
Well, we recently talked about that.
Yeah.
Because of Nicole as well.
Wasn't that the basis for the movie The Perfect Storm?
Mm-hmm. Kind of. Yeah.
Kind of. The storms in that one just were the right spots to send a lot of turbulence towards each other, towards each one of the storms. So he was stuck at the edges of both of those storms, and that's where the giant 190,000-foot wave crushed him.
And that's why Kevin Costner's famous.
According to NOAA and NASA, hurricanes never combine to form one stronger storm. However, the storms may circle each other, which is known as the Fujiwara effect.
Oh,
the Fujiwara. You knew that, Tach.
Yeah, well, actually, me and Jay were just talking about that a little while ago.
Yeah, so storms cannot combine. They can feed off each other, but that doesn't make them necessarily stronger. That just pulls moisture from one to the other, but they cannot combine. I did not know that. I always thought they could.
Yeah, no, I was actually really worried about what's going to happen with Nicole and Matthew out there.
Yeah, they're just going to fight it out a little bit. All right, Jay, I got a question. Do you know what, this is number 6, by the way.
Number 6.
Do you know what equatorial God damn it, I knew I was going to screw that one up.
Equatorial
Coriolis is.
I know the Coriolis effect is the effect the rotation of the Earth has.
That's right.
I know that comes into play when you're plotting out a sniper shot at long distance.
Oh, the way the bullet leaves the gun.
Yeah, I think the shot's over a mile.
Don't teach him how to be a sniper.
If the shot's over a mile, you actually have to take in the rotation of the Earth for into effect, and that I know is a Coriolis effect.
Yeah, the Coriolis effect has a direct effect on hurricanes. Hurricanes never form on the equator because they need the Coriolis force, which is very weak at the equator, to spin. So the hurricanes require that spin. The same thing in toilets. When you flush the toilet in the U.S., it goes one way, and in Australia, it goes another.
Yeah,
because of the hemisphere.
Doesn't the Earth rotate a little faster at the poles?
What the poles? No. The Earth rotates the fastest at the equator, the slowest at the poles.
That's right. I'm sorry.
But it's the gravity that pulls towards the North Pole or the South Pole that affects the Coriolis effect.
I should have just kept my mouth shut at the Coriolis answer and sounded smart.
I went to a titty bar one time where I watched the girl swing on a pole, and you could see her Coriolis.
I was thinking the same thing. It sounds like they're totally talking dirty.
Yeah.
Did you tip her well?
If for nerds everywhere, yes, we are talking really dirty. Yes, say it slow. Coriolis.
It's so hard to say equatorial Coriolis without thinking clitoris.
Equatorial Coriolis. I speak this as a second language.
Clitoris. See, you just want to say it. All right, we'll do. That was 10 through 6. So let's take a quick break in studio.
Okay.
Only a couple minutes or not even that, a couple seconds for you guys at home, and we will be right back. Here at the Twisted 10, we love the participation that we get out of our listeners, both through email, thetwisted10@gmail.com, or through our Facebook messages. If you have your own idea for a top 10 list, shoot us a direct message and let us know. Even better, if you're interested in coming and guesting on the studio, we can either set it up over the internet, so anywhere in the world, or if you want to come into our studio in here, let us know that as well. No other podcasts let their listeners take over the entire podcast for the hour, but that's kind of the concept behind the Twisted 10. So let us know. We look forward to hearing from you. All right, welcome back to the Twisted 10. This is your top 10 hurricane facts that you might not have known about already. Just a recap on the first 5, that's 10 through 6. The first 3 of those were deadly 3. So the deadliest disaster, deadly storms, and the Indian cyclone, which killed 300,000 or more people. Number 7 was buddying up. Number 6 was equatorial Coriolis. All right, on to number 5.
Sounds sexy when you say that.
You like it? Hey, Tach, can I touch your equatorial Coriolis later?
Stop.
All right,
it's like NASA foreplay.
All right, number 5 is be thankful.
Number 5. Be thankful.
Although hurricanes can cause terrible damage, terrible damage, they are an important part of Earth's complicated weather system. Like giant fans, they take hot air from the tropics and move it forward to the poles. Move it toward the poles. Toward the pole.
Doesn't that melt the ice?
Yep, potentially.
Hurricanes.
Leo's going to be pissed.
They help balance temperatures and moisture around the Earth. Without hurricanes and other storms similar to them, cyclones, vast areas of the planet would be too hot for animal and human life. I.e., Florida would be too damn hot. It almost is now.
It's not
cool
already?
now. It's cool right now.
It is cool outside right now. It's supposed to drop into the 60s tonight,
That's
guys.
crazy.
Yeah, it's supposed to get chilly out there.
Only in Florida is 60 degrees considered chilly.
Got to break out the leathers. All right. So not everything about a hurricane is bad. They actually help our planet.
Oh, it's like the bees of the weather community.
That's right. They deposit pollen. Yes. During this list, I actually looked up just a ton of facts on hurricanes. This one made an honorable mention. I've got a couple of honorable mentions, but I'll say this one by itself. I didn't pull it in there. This storms that have the pressure in the center, in the eye, where it's supposed to be the calmest, is actually the most turbulent on the ocean. And often what will happen is when the storms drop below like 930 millibars of pressure and lower, they pull fish literally out of the water and deposit them on land. And most of the fish that they find scattered from an eye of a hurricane have the eyes popped out because of the rapid drop in pressure going from the water into this low pressure storm. So isn't that kind of cool? That's a neat little fact. I didn't include it
That's
officially.
Disgusting.
That's cool.
Their eyes
It's
pop
fascinating.
out. Can you still eat it?
They look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in what movie was that? Where he's on Mars
Total Recall.
when he falls out of the airlock.
Total Recall.
Oh, yeah.
Can you still
Total
eat
Recall.
it?
I'm
Yeah.
happy you said that. I was going to go with that golfer. I can't remember his name. The one who used to wear the knickers that died on a plane because it decompressed.
Whoa, we don't say that word on the podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
That's where we draw our line.
Racist Randy.
So wait a minute. Say the one again.
died with the
Knickers.
what?
The
No. I
knickers.
got the knickers. I'm just trying to think of the.
Was it Thomas Paine? I don't want to say that was.
Yeah, I don't remember.
He still wore the old school golfing pants,
Yep.
like the high socks and the wader pants, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, he was on a plane. This was like 1999, 2000, around that time. Between 98 and 2000. He was on a plane and the plane lost cabin pressure and everybody on board died. And he was one of them. He was a famous golfer and because he was a famous golfer, I'll never remember his name.
Gotcha. Yep.
If it's not Tiger Woods or
Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer. I only know Arnold Palmer because I like the drink.
Nicholas.
And he just died recently, too.
Yeah, Nicholas just recently died.
Was it Nicholas or Arnold Palmer? Arnold Palmer.
Uh-oh. I don't
Arnold
know.
It was Palmer. It was Palmer,
just
yeah.
died.
John Palmer? John Popper.
Arnold Palmer.
All right, sorry. Moving on. Number 4. Number 4 I like to call retirement ceremony.
Okay.
Hurricane names are chosen from a list selected by the World Meteorology Organization. There are 6 separate lists for Atlantic hurricanes, with one list used for each year. Each list is repeated every 7th year, so there's a predefined list of names already out there. However, officials retire, just like in basketball or baseball or whatever, officials retire the names of hurricanes that have caused a great deal of damage or death. Retired names include Andrew, Camille, Bob, Fran, Katrina, Hugo, and Horace Grant. No, just kidding. I just threw that last one in.
And Matthew.
I think my list is in a couple of years. On that same list, there's Andrea, Karen, my mom, and Melissa, my sister.
Really? Uh-huh. On the same year?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool. Ooh, goodness, devastating year.
Hasn't been so far. They keep coming.
So yeah, I didn't actually know. I mean, it makes sense, but I didn't know they retired their names of the
I think
hurricanes
I
after
did
they.
hear that once. But
Yeah, I knew about that. I learned that after Andrew.
That was the one that hit Miami. Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
pretty big one.
Yeah, after that one, that's when we actually learned it that year. Like, when's the next Hurricane Andrew? Because we were kids. I was like 9 when Andrew came by. And that's when the teacher taught us. So, like, actually, once, if it does a lot of damage, you'll never see another Hurricane Andrew. We're like, oh, that's good to know. And then we went, back to the Jungle Gym.
They actually retired Faye, Tropical Storm Faye.
Yeah. That's true.
Really?
Since it
Yeah,
was
it
so
wasn't on
bad.
this list. Huh. I didn't know they retired that one.
Mm-hmm. Which is
Interesting.
odd since it's not a hurricane. But
They figured since people stopped naming their kids Faye back in the 60s, we might as well
change-
stop that with the hurricanes.
Change it up a little bit. Some of that.
Laquisha.
Hurricane
Two racist people.
Hurricane LaDasha.
Up until like the 1940s, this isn't another number. This is just part of the naming of the storms because there was a ton of information on naming of storms.
Is this a new number?
No, I just said that this isn't 3 yet. They only name storms similarly to boats, female names. And then like 1940 somewhere they decided to start naming them with men's names as well.
So
And
wait,
every other one.
hold on. It happened before suffrage. When did women's suffrage come through?
Burn those
Every
bras,
day.
ladies.
When did women get the vote? Wasn't that in the 60s? Are we saying that hurricanes got equal opportunity before actual women did?
Yeah, maybe that was the line in the sand that we crossed as men with women. So that was it.
Listen, honey bun. We'll start giving the storms man names, and you stop asking to vote. All right.
Deal.
Junior, go home and smack your mama. All right. Number 3.
Number 3.
I'm going to name number 3 Conspiracy What? Conspiracy What?
Oh, is this about salting the clouds?
Yes. Project Storm Fury was an organization that, and no, I didn't make this up. This is legitimately a project that was there. Project Storm Fury was an organization that tried to control hurricanes by seeding them with silver iode, which would cool the hurricanes. However, the project had little success, and most scientists now have abandoned the idea of controlling hurricanes. Reference, cloud seeding. For conspiracy theories about this. That is an internet black hole you can get caught in, by the way. If you start there and they just start clicking the links that lead you from conspiracy to conspiracy, that is an internet black hole. Be careful.
I hate those rabbit holes. I think I started looking up. I don't remember what I was looking up. I think it was something for a drug rehab. I think I was looking up a phone. I was looking up a phone number for a drug rehab.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, no, for
On YouTube?
No, just on Google. Okay. A friend of mine, a legit friend of mine. This isn't me. I wasn't crying for help.
It's okay. We can talk about it.
No, a friend of mine had just checked out from a drug rehab and had realized that he left some stuff there, and he was looking for the phone number. He couldn't find it, so I was like, "Hey, I'm in front of a computer. I'll check for you."
And he was high, so he couldn't look it up himself.
No, I was in front of the computer. He was standing next to me, so he was looking through his wallet. I'm like, "Dude, just what was the name of the rehab?" So I start googling it.
I meant the guy was high, not you.
Oh yeah,
the rehab guy.
More than likely he was. So I started googling it. And I don't know how it happened, but I ended up looking up the rate of recidivism in Finland.
This sounds like something we talked about last week, isn't it?
Yeah, he mentioned recidivism.
Yeah, no,
God damn it.
Recidivism's always
Recidivism.
That's our Easter egg.
Yeah.
It's going to be recidivism and equatorial Coriolis.
Equatorial Coriolis.
You may not learn much, but you will gain a hell of a vernacular.
Yeah. We spend money on words over here at Twisted 10.
Oh, yes. You almost said the other one, didn't you?
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, there's a ton of conspiracy theories about controlling hurricanes. It's pretty interesting. All right, number 2.
Number two,
I've named increasing in numbers. Kind of tying in with conspiracies a little bit. The number of Atlantic hurricanes is increasing. The 2005 Atlantic hurricane season, for example, was the worst on record. Some scientists think this is the rise in hurricanes is due to a natural cycle. Hurricanes are rare for the first 30 to 60 years of the cycle, and they become more common for the next 30 to 60 years of a 120-year cycle.
Is this when the Caribbean gets pissed for like a month out of the year?
If you ever watch Pirates of the Caribbean, this is when Calypso gets really mad at Jack Sparrow.
Release the Kraken!
Other scientists blame global warming, but we discredit them because they're Democrats. So,
and Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, I'm kidding. So that could take you into a whole nother. The government has now learned to control hurricanes and take out low-income areas. And
right,
just
they
all
sent
this.
Hurricane Matthew through Florida recently just to hide a few stories.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the $500 million the Pentagon spent on creating fake movie propaganda from terrorists.
Yeah, and we didn't land on the moon, right?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. The last story was real. So.
Oh, all right. So let's wrap it up. Number 1.
Number 1.
I call number 1 intense winds. The most intensive tropical cyclone in terms of the highest wind speeds measured was Tropical Cyclone Olivia, which struck Australia in 1996. Based on the speeds that you guys know of hurricanes, what do you think the top wind speed of this hurricane was as a sustained wind?
That's got to be over 200 miles an hour if it's making headlines like that.
Let's put it this way. In other words, it had wind speeds recorded as the fastest wind ever measured on the Earth's surface.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a strong statement.
It's a strong fucking storm.
I'm going to go with 250 plus.
We can't say plus. That leaves everything out.
7,000. Talking to the mic, sweetheart.
7,000.
Thanks, sweetheart. Let's go with 237.
Jay is the winner tonight. The answer is 253 miles per hour.
He was oh no.
He guessed 250.
That's right. I was under.
He guessed 250. In fact, he guessed so close, he wins this lovely prize.
It's a goat.
There is a part. Wow! Wow!
There's his sound effect for the animal. So, yeah, that was Australia 1996, 253 mile an hour sustained wind at the eye.
Imagine what the gusts were.
Yeah, no kidding.
Jesus,
ridiculous.
That tops out. There's a mountain in Maine. I want to say it's like the end of the Appalachian Trail where they recorded I think it's like 250, 249 mile an hour winds.
At the end of the Appalachian Trail?
It's
Really?
it's all the way up in Maine. It's the strongest winds typically on the face of the earth. And wow, 253 topped that in Australia.
Yeah.
That
Ridiculous storm.
That is insane.
I got a couple pieces of bonus material here.
Told you everything in Australia is trying to kill you.
He's got a piece of boner.
Yeah, that's
bonus.
right.
Yeah.
This one's called Fearsome Foursomes. The most hurricanes ever seen in the Atlantic Basin, that's between here, Africa, is at one time, this is hurricanes, not just storms or depressions, is 4. That happened twice, once in August of 1893, and then again in September of 1998.
I wanted to say I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
George, Ivan, Jeannie, and Carl.
Hurricane George. I remember it was George, not George.
Yeah, it's Georges.
Because
Yeah,
it was
you're right.
Haitian. Yeah,
Yep.
it was a Haitian hurricane. I think that one made landfall, if I'm not mistaken.
It could have. These were all for just somewhere in the Atlantic Basin, so somewhere out there.
Yeah, I remember that in 98.
The other bonus that I've got is rare phenomenon. Only 3 Category 5 hurricanes, the highest category in the hurricane strength scale, hit the United States since the beginning of the 20th century. 1935, Florida Keys Labor Day hurricane. Remember, we kind of talked about they didn't necessarily have names for them. Hurricane Camille in 1969 and Hurricane Andrew in 1992. So only 3 ever recorded that were Category 5s that hit the U.S.
Wow. Matthew came close, too.
Yeah. It was 4, and then it slowly died down as its band started to hit us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty rough hurricane. So yes, considering the nature of this time of year and what we just went through last weekend, that was the list I decided to pick.
Well done,
for this
sir.
week.
Very good.
Thank you very much, Adam.
I've learned some stuff.
This is the most you'll ever learn from a weather person that isn't wearing a miniskirt. And that's all right. Adam's just as much of a weather person as that woman is.
Yeah.
I like how you didn't let anyone know he's actually wearing a miniskirt.
Keep
And the
standing
blonde
sideways.
wig is a good touch, though.
You like that? You like me as a blonde? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so that's it. Who's got next week? Who's up? Who we doing next week? Jay just went. I just did mine.
I did one. It's Andrea.
It's Andrea's turn.
Unless we
Andrea,
can get
you're
a
up
guest.
next. Yeah, we could
The
potentially.
more guests you bring in, Jay, the more weeks you have to where you don't have to do one.
I'm going to keep that in mind.
Yeah. We've had, I don't know, we've had 7 or 8 guests over our 30 shows or so. So we do it on Skype too with some people. So if they want to Skype in, we can just Skype them in and we can see them as I record their audio.
You mean I've been driving all the way here when I could have just Skyped in?
No, I've got a really good one. I'm thinking of top 10 crochet knots.
Spoiler alert.
Crochet knots.
I've
Tach.
already fallen into a coma.
Do you have any teasers you want to give us for your show?
I just did.
Oh, that's your teaser?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Crochet knots.
It's going to involve the AIDS quilt. I feel like it's going to involve the AIDS quilt.
All right. So that is our show for this week. On iTunes especially, give us a like and a review on there, or a 5-star rating and a review on there.
Subscribe, rate, and review. No.
Share the show out. And we would also give a special thanks out to John Sweeney and the Podcast Radio Network for syndicating us and airing us over his station. We greatly appreciate that. All right, so that's it. I appreciate you. Go ahead.
Sorry. You can follow us on Twitter at TheTwisted10, or email us if you have an idea for a list, or you want to be on the show as a guest and bring a list, or maybe you just want to say hi, or that you hate us or you love us. It doesn't matter. hit us up at the Twisted 10. I'm sorry. Hit us up at Twisted10 at gmail.com.
Cool. All right, on behalf of our brand new host in this show, Jay Alvarez, Tach, and Andrea, I'm Adam, and thank you for listening to us this week.